Well, I just got done doing a Saturday video, and it started out being the opening, then it was the Saturday video, then it felt more like the opening, and I just left it. So you're getting a partial opening on Saturday. It was about 30 minutes, so it'll take you a full one of these to get through the whole thing.
And it's about nothing.
It is about lots. Seinfeld was about nothing. Do you know how many awards it got? It's been a great start to the year here at the stable. So excited about everything that has gone on. I tried to make a list of things that have excited me. Obviously, on the border, on my periphery right here, are the yearlings. The fact that Travel Blog, as she should have, sold out like that. Money's tied up. Money's tied up is on the board right now, on the block, so to speak, right now. I think there was 60 shares listed available. 35 of them sold right away. I suspect the other 25 will go over the next few days. And then as we move into next weekend, we will put a new horse on the block. Who should we put up next? What do you want to put up next?
You should do them in order
Of what?
of the report.
That's silly.
Why?
I don't like that. Who should we put up next? What about Lou Armstrong? What about the Quattro de Julio? Maybe him. We're going to think about it. If you have any thoughts on it, if you have a horse that you believe we should put up next, drop me a line. Let me know. Or better yet, email Amy and let Amy know. Amy know.
My email inbox is actually full.
It's shocking. It's shocking that
I
it's
have
full.
to keep
Amy's one of those
every day.
people that every Wednesday from 5 to 5:15, she checks her emails no matter what.
No, I have to delete stuff so I can receive more.
I see.
That's where we're at.
I see. So it's been a tremendous start to the year. Supermind last night, a number of people messaged me and said, wow, I didn't see that coming. I might not have saw 56 coming, but I thought he was a winner yesterday. At no point did I feel I was going to be flat out defeated. No, never crossed my mind. I thought he was
trained very much on the front.
Well, he qualified on the front, and I kept a very close eye on him on the front. He was extremely strong on the front. The only thing I didn't want to do is go out of there with him. If you watch, I was 5th off the car. I just stayed in the middle and let him advance. I didn't want him stepping off the car, and I'm glad I didn't now, especially we scoped him after, and he had an ulcer on his palate. The last thing I want to do is be getting him a little warm coming off the car. I thought the horse raced tremendous, and to have a horse win in 56, you think you'd be raving about him right now. But then there's Perfect Thought. There's Uncle Danny, right? There's, I just have to look down. Oh, what about Jailbird Jog? She's not bad. What about Degas' victory in an open maiden the other day? An aged maiden the other day? You know the horse that surprised me the most this week? And because none of them have really surprised me, my expectations have not been low. I might keep them tempered to you, but my expectations are always very, very high. And there was one horse that I got off the bike and I said to myself, wow, listen, and don't forget about Doom also. We don't talk about her enough, like how good she's been. There's one horse that floored me this week, how good, and it was the kick on the end of the mile.
Oh, Jolene
Hall. Jolene Hall shocked me this week. One, I knew she could trot in 2 minutes, but to flat out, her line doesn't do her justice. Like 30-1, 2 minutes. Watch her last 8. Filly was amazing the other day, and charging at the leader under the wire. That is the first time I've seen that filly really show any sense of urgency on the track. And what better time than right before her stake races? Yes, Jolene Hall was the one that really caught my eye this week. I expected Supermind to go win last night. Right? It was not a shock.
I didn't know. I thought, I was interested to see. Like, I was expecting a mile at 58, 59.
Nah, when I saw the half up 59,
Well,
and I felt, and I'm
I'm just
sitting
saying-
at the lines in
I'm
my
just
hands,
saying-
I said to myself, 56-2, 56-3.
Obviously, during the mile,
Yeah.
that going into the race, I was like,
Well, because you don't know how you're going to map out a mile in 56. I don't want to be over the half in 57-3 with a 2-year-old. So to get over the half in 59, I thought that the ball was in my court, and I thought he would win. My mind probably was thinking 56-2, 56-3, maybe 57. But to see 56 flat pop up and know that he was just starting to get his work done when we went through the wire, that's a scary animal. He is a big, strong colt, and showed exactly. But I mean, it goes back to the training we put into them. You look at the two fillies, Don't Ask Again and Cherry's Girl. We trained them all the same way. They were just miserable all year and did not do their work well. But clearly they were paying attention, because when push came to shove and they were asked to do the work properly, you would never know that Don't Ask Again did it terribly all winter. You would never know that Cherry's Girl did it terribly all winter. You would never, the last time she looked very good was what, January? When we first started training them, Cherry's Girl. He said, "Listen,
later
really."
than that. I don't think we started turning our heads until like March.
No, when Cherry's Girl, do you remember she had a curb and she had all this stuff, and she started making breaks, and we're like, we'll give her the benefit of the doubt, and then all of a sudden she was just a cow that didn't want to do her work.
Yeah, I know.
And then
every day.
But those horses clearly were still paying attention, because when you put them on the track, they didn't look green. They didn't look like Cherry's Girl might have backed away. Every horse does that. We have 3-year-olds that will still do that sometimes. When you go up behind and that person is there, and they see that person there, all they do is focus on the person and what they're doing, and then they can't get up on top of the gate. Now the worst thing you can do is hit them a swat in the arse and make them do their work. They'll run. And she did feel like a couple of times going to the gate that if you could have tipped her over quite easily. There was one moment midway around the turn coming up to the gate, she put this little shuffle in, and I'm going to tell you what, my butt parked it up, and the hair in my neck stood straight up, and I'm like, no, don't do that. I thought she was going to run just like that, and then she took off.
Oh, I meant to ask you, your video with highest honors.
Yeah.
Were you wearing those glasses?
No, it had something clipped on the beak of my helmet. I wore the glasses though for Jenna the other night when I drove Sweet Lake, but it cut off halfway through the mile. Oh. They only have like a certain recording time, and it cut off halfway through the mile. I wore them again when Cherry's Girls race the other night, so that'll be on Facebook next week.
I thought you were rather quiet.
What do you mean quiet? Well, I didn't know how the volume would come through either. Cherry's Girl, I talked to her a little bit more because she's a little funnier, but highest honors, I just wanted to put him in a spot to do his work. And the reason being, and I know this is where James and I differentiate, right? And it's funny because Scott and James, oddly enough, I must be wrong because two of the best drivers in the world think the same way. I want to know what's underneath the hood. I want to know where that red line starts, right? At 6,000 RPMs, or maybe it starts at 4,000 RPMs. Yeah, I want to know what I can do and not do when I'm in that car, so to speak. And they're the opposite.
But they're not the same as you, because they're not training the stable. They're not training the
I know,
horses.
and when
they
it
get
comes
to hang the lines up and be like, oh, well, maybe I can drive a better one next week.
And that's true, somewhat. But when we're talking about our horses, and the other thing I tell them is, it's funny, I'm trying my hardest not to use names other than James and Scotty. But Scotty in particular said that he'll pick up the lines and go with a horse, and a certain trainer that is usually very complacent will say, hey, we have people here today to watch this horse go, or, this owner's friends are here today to watch this horse go, so...
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
But that's the pressure I'm always under, right? Is that I always have hundreds of people watching our horses go, so that's why we train them the way they do. When they go to the track...
You also have to answer questions.
And that's the thing, is that when we go to a track for an official race or an official qualifier, I expect the horse to be ready to go. Our horses are ready to rock when they go on the track. And that's the one thing I always have to convey to Harry and Dominic and Jason and everybody, is that when our horses go on the track, they are ready to go. And that isn't abnormal. Ron Burke's horses are always ready to go also. Always ready to go. And I think that's a feather in our cap. But when you are driving horses, James and Scotty would like you go easy, never cut them loose, and then when they go for money, cut them loose. Well, that's cool, but now you have 2 or 3 races in where the horses are run up the wood and people are saying, hey man, what are we doing here? I view those as wasted events, wasted races. The training and the qualifying and the schooling, those are preparation events for the races. When you go to the races, you're now racing for money. You're now racing. And I don't take anything for granted. And again, clearly I'm in the wrong, because when I'm at opposite ends of the spectrum with 2 of the best drivers in the world currently right now, and their views are very similar and mine are very opposite, well,
but that's
the house is betting on them. How's that?
Yeah, but that's also the difference between training and driving.
You're right. And it's the expectations that come with it. And I have expectations too.
Because you see the horses every day.
Usually James knows that. When James qualifies a horse, there's times I don't even watch the qualifiers. I don't even want to, because I get too upset when I do it. Never went inside the pylons. I'm right on the white line right there.
I'm a little, like, I don't want to say gun shy. That's not. I'm a little nervous about traffic stops.
Yeah, you get hit.
Actually, you know what's funny?
What?
You're gonna find this stupid, but if I have to like stop like quick,
Yeah.
Cruz is like.
Well, of course, he's a little gun shy. He's like, I don't know about this lady.
He knows if I stop quick, he's
So what
like
Amy's talking
looking
about
out
is
the window.
3 weeks ago, Amy was taking my car back to trade it in and got in an accident. Somebody plowed into the back of her, not paying attention. The 403 stopped quick. The highway stopped quickly, and somebody hit her from behind, wrecked my car. Which, I know what you're thinking. If you're thinking it right now, it took you about 4 seconds. Maybe you ended up with a better deal because it got wrecked. You're right, we did. But obviously, it's not, I don't want to see my car get smashed or my wife get hurt or, heaven forbid, Chris get smushed. But that's what she's talking about. But I always do. It was funny. I remember my brother Lloyd. I don't know when, I don't know where, but I always remember it. If I go up in behind traffic and have to stop quickly, the first thing I do is look in the mirror. Because I know that if I have to stop quickly, everybody else does behind me.
I did that. That's why I knew.
That's why I always crowd the inside lane, because if I see somebody coming, I peel left into that breakdown lane. That's why I'm always over there when I'm braking.
I know.
Because I assume there's going to be a guy plow into the back of me.
Just so you know, you don't have as much time as you think you do, because I knew that guy wasn't stopping about.
But see, the problem
before.
is, this is stuff that I always have to deal with in racing too. And you have to know that you don't have seconds. So you can't be reactionary. You can't see that and then go, oh,
that's
because
what I did. That's 100%.
But your first
that's why I smashed my head off.
Your brain stops for a second because it is trying to figure out what to do, where you already know the answer. Guy coming fast, peel left. And that's why I always, when we're braking up and behind people, I'm always kind of leaning to the left. Because I'm about to go off onto even if I got to go into the grass, it's better than getting plowed into.
Well, there's a median.
That's different.
But
there's not
also,
a lot of room
if I had have got out of the way and that guy had to smash into the Toyota in front of me, it would have been.
I'm going to tell you something.
It would have been.
I'm going to tell you something that I think it was either Bill O'Donnell or Mike McDonald told me a long time ago about racing. Don't let his bad day turn into your bad day. That's what he always told me. So you have to understand that. Always look out for yourself, especially in life, but especially on the road and on the racetrack, actually. So, back to the horses. The babies will get somebody. I think Lou Armstrong will be next. He popped into my head. I love that colt. He's beautiful.
Did you explain why he has that name?
Well, Jazz, right? My Jazz. And Quattro de Julio is July 14th, right?
No, it was July 4th. Quattro de Julio.
I'm sorry,
means 4th of July.
And Louis Armstrong was born on the 4th of July, and he's a jazz
jazz
singer.
A famous jazz.
Yeah, and for those of you
artist.
wondering, you couldn't name the horse Louis Armstrong because they won't let you name horses after famous people anymore. So we just went with Lou Armstrong, and they let it go. So that's how that happened, just so you know. So Lou Armstrong will be next. So looking down, we're talking about, how do we talk about Scotty and James again? We were talking about super perfection, or perfect thought, or something like that. I talked with Jolene Hall, was impressive to me, and then I talked about, we were talking about the way that we train our horses and how it shows up on the track, even if you don't think it does. You have two fillies that really were disobedient all year, and ended up, when they got to the track, understood what they were supposed to do and the way they were supposed to do it.
Which is relieving, because I've been depressed all winter about the 5 that were born.
Yeah, and that's the truth too. We had 5 Captain Corys coming, and then when you see these Captain Corys training down the way, you're like, oh my God, this is, oh my God almighty. Not only is today bad, but a year from now is going to be unbelievably, immeasurably depressing. But instead, they get to the track, you're like, ha! We got 5 Captain Corys. and everyone's happy. So it's funny how this game goes in every aspect of it. The ups and the downs of owning. They did an article. Did you read the article on DRF the other day? He misquoted me a little bit. I said we weren't going broke quick enough, so we bought some broodmares. He paraphrased a little bit, but in a joking way. Then to see, you have no idea, to see Tomboy Strong start to become a good filly means so much to me, because as a trainer, I wanted to believe that I wanted the traits of horses I had respect for to pass on. And although Muscle Chrome was quite possibly the slowest horse we'd ever had that we raced, she didn't know that. And she tried.
Her or Dewey Ann?
No, Dewey Ann would kill her. It wasn't even close. Muscle Chrome thought she was a good horse. Right? Thought she was a good horse. And wanted to be a good horse. And actually looked surprised every time other horses beat her. It was weird. But she tried her heart out. And that was something I had a lot of respect for. And I was not happy with the colt, the first one. But definitely this filly is... Oh, this filly is impressive in a number of different ways. So we get the yearlings coming out now with the 2-year-olds. You know, just so thankful for the opportunity to train horses for you guys. So thankful for the opportunity you've given us, and then to see these horses come forward. I was sitting there yesterday, and Kim Hankins, who's a director, and he's a starter at the Meadows on days, and I walked in and I just won with Supermind, and Dave Plum looked at me. He goes, "I was just telling Kim," telling Kim, "Man, God," he said, "you got some really, really nice horses." And I said, "You guys saw Uncle Danny in Supermind. You haven't seen Jailbird Jog. You haven't seen Perfect Thought, right? There's a lot of horses they haven't even laid their eyes on yet. And somehow we've got away from talking about Blue Rare. She will bounce back, and you will talk about her this summer. And you just, all these horses, I'm looking at them right here, right? You have Supermind. You have Uncle Danny, Jailbird Jog, Degas. We didn't talk about Degas on the trip she went and the way that she got there. I kept telling you guys, this is not normal, the way that she was sick and then qualified and then come out and won, for her to win that prep race. She's going to be near her very best next Monday when she rolls behind the gate. And Eric said they've all been training good. So I am very, very excited. Then you see Jolene Hall go out and race the way she did. Didn't know whether she's an okay filly. Is she going to fit?
Quietly cheered for her. Right?
She looked amazing and felt so good the other night.
Even though I was so mad when you bought her.
I know, you were very mad because you didn't want... She was like $15,000 or $16,000 out of a... She's a sister to Oni Hall. She could never be worth that little again the rest of her life. The rest of this filly's life, she could never be worth as little as she was on sale night. And that was always my argument. Just a very, very nice filly. Cherry's Girl. You know, Randy loved her. I don't think you or I even really fell in love with her. But Randy Hutchison loved Cherry's Girl. Him and Bob. And we ended up buying her, and when we first broke her, I'm like, wow, what a nice filly. And then she immediately turned into a cow for like months, and then come out swinging the other day. I keep telling you, well, you know, their training comes out and they understand, but there's Hattie down to 0. There's still a little green, and her on the front end the other day. I just opted for the front rather than the 4-hole. I would have taken the 2-hole. I didn't want the 4-hole. And I thought she raced very, very good. Oddly enough, and Captain Corey beat her at the wire of Aki Svanstedts. And in that race, there was 3 horses that cost over $250,000 that were in with Cherry's Girl. I think Aki's was like $275, if I'm not mistaken. Don't Ask Again. Raced good. Take nothing away from her. She raced good again. And then, no, we haven't even talked about Sweet Lake. No. There's a filly that paced 54 last quarter in 27 seconds the other day and just got beat at the wire. Raced fantastic and is in today where she should do some damage again.
And just a little June foal.
And a little June foal, exactly. And the same thing, Leland Hanover, June foal. You're going to see. You're going to see, I'm telling you. You're going to see what I'm talking about. You might not see it all today, but you will see it. And then nobody talks about Emerald Tom. Right? Emerald Tom just trotted 57-3 the other day, his first lifetime start. He's a Fearless Peter, wire to wire, 2-2 the other day. Looked fantastic. Perfection Hanover was okay. Of all the horses we're going to talk about, he needs to do the most to impress me because his expectations, right? I have expectations for him. I think as of right now, he's a nice overnight horse that can race in the Stallion Series, but he could be more, and I want him to be. Judy's Money. 2 for 2.
I wasn't sure what your thoughts were on her.
He tried to have 59 the other day, first over, and run me down. Now Bobby, I just left Bobby alone, and she was quietly learning. And again, just her incredibly low IQ is what is. She's so stupid.
I know that,
but she's a likable filly, and she did her work good the other day. She did her work good the other day.
Is she going in the Stallion Series?
Yes, of course she is. And then
sucks. I wish their first start was at Northfield.
I don't. I'm happy. That's why I took her over here. I wanted to simulate a shipping to a stake race with her. That's why we brought her over here. And then Dune. Don't talk about Dune enough. Just first and second in the sires and looked amazing. Half in 58, I think, the other day on a bull ring. Just a plowed field. And then Woodmere Bullet. We haven't talked much about him. He's in tomorrow. He's going to be making his first start. You know, we look on the 3-year-old side. Just Arrowhead Hanover Park the entire while, start to finish the other day, trots in 53-2. Captain Incredible, 51-1. He's getting so close to where I want him to be. Not quite there yet, but he's got another start next week. I asked Dave Pallone after, I said, that horse you just drove is out of that class. If I can't be here next week, do you want to drive this colt again? He said, I would absolutely love to drive that colt. Who's this guy? He only seen me 15 times. Look at this guy going to again. What a DJ. How you doing, man?
Good, yeah.
Very good, sir. Anthony McDonald.
Oh, okay.
Got the family.
I keep forgetting you got this, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a great day.
You forgot you have this call.
I've only had it for 2 weeks, and I've waved to him for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh,
the guy that 5 weeks.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Who cares? Captain Incredible was great. 3-point blue chip. Back to himself. So impressed with his mile last night. I'll show you the mile.
He's not 3. Anyways.
I know he's not 3. I'm just talking about other horses. Chicago Hall was great the other day, winning in 57. Grand Slam Deal race pretty good. She's back in to go Tuesday. I don't know who's driving her on Tuesday. Woodmere Betcha has been good. Resolve Indeed was good also. These are all horses that are playing a role in the summer, right? The Pawns or whatever you want to call them. They're still doing their great job. Manhattan Money also. And then again, gorgeous package last night. Race so good. And then you have the meat of our aged horses, right? Money was good last night. Save America has been absolutely tremendous in PEI. Spitfire, Tech Song, Neptune, they're all racing good. And Delicious Stone DK come back. 3 wins in a row for that horse now. So I'm here. I'm going to go train Solidarity. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I hope we have a lot of luck tonight, today, the entire rest of the summer. It has been a great start to 2025, and I'm going to do everything I can to keep it going. Anything to add? Nothing. Nothing from anybody. All right. Take care. Good luck with the races. I will talk to you all very soon.